the core services that you offer?
So the core services we offer is web design, graphic design, social media design, and video editing and motion graphics. But our most popular service I'd say is web design. That's what we're most focused on.
Web design. All right, all right. Now let's get into that part as well. I know that there are many different web design companies or tech companies out in the space. What do you think makes you guys different or unique or special? What causes you to stand out in the market?
So I'd say what causes us to stand out in the market would be we design for purpose in a
Okay.
specific way. We design for a specific need. It's mostly user-centered design. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of research that goes behind into design because you'd see a lot of websites, but not enough research going behind that work. So that
Mm.
makes us stand out. And we also we don't want to major in a lot of things because, jack of
Okay.
all trades is a master of none.
Master of none.
Yeah, we want to focus on just web. We don't want to venture into software. We want to master web and just be the go-to guy for web.
You know, I actually had a conversation with another lady from one of these development institutions. Because in my company I also do marketing and business development and other things. So she was trying to emphasize the fact that, you know what, everyone right now goes to the web and they find videos and stuff like that. And so it's better for one to market using like the traditional methods, which is using billboards and things like that. And then I asked her, listen, when you want something, where do you go? What do you do? And she was like, okay, well, I generally go to Google. And then what happens when you get to Google? And she says, no, and then I get like people who list mostly videos and social media. I'm like, what you get there is websites. I was like, that's websites. So if you're saying that, and she was justifying why they don't put a lot of money behind helping small businesses get websites and stuff like that, is because she could not connect the fact that on Google, the listings there are generally websites. And she just didn't understand what I was saying until she had to practically go to her phone and search out Google. And I said, search it out. Go for what you're looking for. What do you find? Where do you find it? And that's a website. Wherever it is that you're landing on is mostly a website. There are other also there's an integration of social media there, but with websites. So what do you think causes people not to understand how actually websites work and how important they are for a business to have?
Yeah, I think maybe it's also industry people don't understand. It's the understanding, just the
Ne.
understanding of the entire concept. Because a lot of people don't know, but that's how Google generates 97% of their revenue is through ads, is through people competing for websites.
Mm.
Can you imagine how many websites are on the web currently now? If someone's looking at your stuff on Google,
Oh my word.
and if you compare it to a traditional marketing, you're not gonna get the reach that you
Obviously.
want for your company compared
Mm.
to Google. Google just takes your company to another level. You might not see results in the first couple of months, but it's a long game.
It is. And I think, you can also touch on the lingo such as search engine optimization and how to make sure that your your website ranks and things like that. Just at a practical level. Like, don't be too deep, but for someone to understand what goes back behind the scenes in that space.
Yeah, I'll just use a practical example. I'll use a house, for example.
Okay.
It's the same concept that we use when we're building a website. There's all these different layers underneath the website. You have your foundation, you have this, for example, you have your SEO, certain plugins need to be installed in order for your website to rank on there. So
Mm.
the biggest mistake I think companies make is that they don't hire professionals. They hire someone who just does
Mm.
the top, but the foundation is very shaky. Because so you'll have like a very pretty website, but it's not doing the job properly because the foundation is lacking.
Ne.
So I
And
think that's another thing that people in South Africa, they don't see the value of it, of having a website because they've hired like maybe someone who's like an intern or someone who's just done a website or two who hasn't gone into the field and learned a lot. So that's why
mm,
they're like, no, I already did. Because most of the time you'll be like, no, I already did a website, but I'm not seeing anything.
mm,
So it's very
mm.
difficult to convince a client if they've if they've already seen that this thing doesn't work, why should they trust you?
Yeah. Obviously then it means you need to correct your pitch and try and find and integrate the benefits there so that they're able to then take another chance. But tell me something when it comes to, because I know that there are AI tools that I use, there are softwares that I use, and then there's basic building HTML like from scratch. Do you think that those vary like in terms of impact? Because I mean, we're moving to different times and people are always looking for convenience. People are always looking for how to scale, I understand you said in your business, you guys are more focused on giving the personal touch and focusing on a client and giving them, that individual support and need. But between these three areas that I'm mentioning, AI, softwares, I mean, I don't know if they're even different, but and platforms like WordPress or whatever, like using already built, landing pages and things like that. Does it, or going the route of building from scratch and coding, which ones do you think have impact? Is there a difference, or talk to me about that?
Yeah, there is a big difference between the two. So if you're looking for generic for coding from start, it's going to cost you a lot of money because it's a
Okay.
lot of work. But like you mentioned, your CMS systems, which are like your content management systems, your
Mm,
WordPress, your Shopify, that's easier to manage in terms of maintenance. So if you're
okay.
having someone to maintain that in the long run, it's better to go for that option.
Okay. It
Uh,
doesn't
But
impact. Yes.
No, but also the integration of the different Googles, it's better on CMS systems compared to a coded website.
Oh, because those ones are already built to take your
Yeah.
plugins and the entire other things that you want to put in the website.
Yeah. So AI is not going to help you in the long run. It can give you a nice HTML website, but after that,
That's
it's
it.
that's it for you.
And talk to me about hosting. Sometimes when you work with people like web developers and web designers, there'll be a different they will differentiate in terms of whether they're going to host for you or they're going to and have all the control. Then you're paying money every month or something like that, as compared to you paying a fee for the setup and then that's it, and then you as the business that requested the website, you do the rest. Like, talk to me about that as well.
Okay, I'd say
Which
the
one?
difference,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'd say the big difference between the two. So hosting is an environment where your website is hosted on the web. For example, it's your space. You have your own space and your website is stored there on the server.
Mm.
So the difference, I'd say that if someone chooses to go their own route and saying, no, I'll get my own hosting, if something goes wrong, what happens then? Are you going to be able to maintain it? What happens then?
But I mean, on the flip side could also be true, because I think I freak out when it comes to the part where sometimes these guys will not have money to pay, because I think you pay for hosting, right? So what happens if all of the information is, and I've experienced instances where people have lost websites like completely. When you go there, it's rich. It's like HTML is all over the page. It's like ABZCK,
Yeah.
the whole thing. It's like gone, and people are saying they cannot retrieve it, and so I don't know what's safe.
Yeah, I think in that case, it wasn't maintained. There was no security on the website.
Yo.
That's also a very important thing when you hire a professional. There has to be security installed on the website. On the
So that
web,
doesn't get hacked.
yeah, the web is crazy. You might not think someone wants to hack your website, but it will get hacked.
Ne?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so when you use these, did you call them RM, the management systems? I don't know what you call them, but the
CMS, so it's CMS,
CMS
content management systems.
systems, CMS. Okay, so when you're using those, do they have better security features on them, or do you have to like strengthen and keep strengthening and keep on strengthening with other? I don't know what you guys use.
Yeah, it depends. You pay for those. In general, you get what you pay for at the end of the day. You do get free ones, but
Oh,
if you're hosting with an agency or an example, they've got that already on their books for all their
okay.
websites. So
Sure.
that's the advantage that you get there.
Mm.
So once you get a professional to strengthen it up for you, you are done. You I think you're
Mm.
safe.
Oh, wow. All right. Talk to us about your own process that you use internally. If a client wants to make use of your services and requests you to build a website for them, what would the process look like
The first question I would always ask the clients, what are your goals? What are you hoping to achieve?
with the website or in general?
Why do you want, or in general, with anything, with social media design, video editing, and graphics, that's the first thing you ask.
Okay,
Do you want this? What,
sure.
yeah, what's your goal? What do you hope to achieve with it?
Mm,
And from there, we would advise, look at the research, look at your competitors, because I think that's very important. You need to look at your
mhm,
competition, see what they're doing.
mhm,
We look at that, go the competition, and then after that, that's when we do the research, get back to the client with the findings.
mm,
Then it's design stage. Then we present the findings, present the whole strategy, present the website. Then
mm.
after presenting that, we go into the testing phase where we A/B test the website. We speed test the website. We Google test the website. There's a lot of testing that also goes in the back end that I think people don't see. They
Mm.
probably think it's it, but you have to check the speed because if your website is slow, you're gonna rank
Will
low.
pass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or Google will rank you low themselves.
yes, they'll rank you low because they don't
Oh.
want people going to websites they don't work. So the better your website, the faster it is, the higher you rank.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really, really amazing.
Uh,
And when it comes to the talk to me a little bit about the number of pages that you do. Do you have like standard packages, like we do 3 landing pages or 5, or talk to me a little bit about that, and maybe what are the some of the basic components of like a basic website?
so I'd say the most basic components is the 5-page website for a small business, for example. A
Mm-hmm.
5-page website is the best way to go for them. So you
Okay.
have your home page, your about us, giving your company history, your services. Then you'd have a section for other information or people asking questions and a contact us page. Those are the
Okay.
basic. That'll be like the beginner package or starting there. There are lower packages that some businesses go for, like your one page. You know, when you go on a website, and then it's just like one page on that website.
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
the I'd say the package after the other one, that's a bigger package. That package gives you the freedom to have blogs on your website. I think that that's what bigger businesses looking for to make sure that their business is more than just like a website, but also an information center. Like you go on certain websites, you see, oh, there's blogs on here. Let me do
Yeah.
read. Yeah, we can help you on this. And then that expands to more and more pages. But the most important thing is I'd say the bigger one, because you want to go into each service in detail. Like I don't want to say I just do web design. I want you to go to web design and
Unpack it.
hey, yeah, and there's a page explaining web design.
That's another page, ne?
That's another page also. So the mistakes that also the other companies make, they'll have everything on one page. So it's information overload because they're
Oh.
trying to cut down on packages. Yeah, and then
Mm.
the next package will be like your very big packages will be your for very, very, very big companies. I'll make an example with maybe I'd say maybe like a bus company or who've got like a lot going on for them. Those are big
Mm.
packages. And your e-commerce stores where you have to upload 100 of products and lots
Mm.
of pages. Those are the big, big packages.
Ne? So with the 5 page sort of a website, you kind of have blogs on it or articles and things like that.
You can have it, but I think the most
There'll be
important
a
thing,
limit.
yeah, there'll be a limit in terms of I think your space as well. Because with the bigger packages
Sure.
on your hosting, you get more space on there. But in the
Mm.
long run, you tend out to run out of space.
And then it's a problem.
Yeah, and then it's a problem after that.
All right. That's quite interesting. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen, other businesses maybe or some of your competitors in the space make when it comes to them developing websites for people?
I'd say the biggest mistake that some of them that make is that they use outdated software or updated plugins, all the different
Mm.
stuff on the CMS page. Some of them also is poor design. Let me say also like other websites that I've seen. I think I want to go that way. Other websites I've seen and I've seen the negative effects that they've had. Mostly
Mm.
on some of the pages, there's no SEO at all on the website. Because I don't think maybe people know, but we can inspect I can go on your website now and see exactly what you have. We have
That-
specific
oh,
tools for that, and I can see what was used to build your website.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
some of them, other
That's
mistakes
a
they
bit
make.
creepy, but that's the that's the internet for us.
Yeah, no, it doesn't display your personal information. It just shows that.
I know, yeah, I understand, but it's really interesting how a person can actually think they've got a website that's unique, and that's standalone, that's big, and someone can just come along and just assess it. Let me say assess it.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Okay. I wanted to also find out that how would you, advise people who want to get into the tech space, who also want to come in and assist others in building and designing their own websites?
I would say for them to focus on a niche or focus on a specific target market or just focus on websites in general. Another thing is also constant learning. You never stop learning. There's
Mm,
always every year there's something new. You're never gonna stop learning.
mm.
Stop learning and then you must know something is wrong.
All right, all right. I wonder, as AI comes in, as the use of, hey, let me just say AI is really booming. I wonder how it's actually going to affect the industry itself. Have you thought about that? I'm
Yeah, it
just
has. I think on our side it's affected I'd say the copywriters, for example. It's affected them a lot. When ChatGPT
because,
came,
oh my word, yeah.
people started just doing their own content and they just send you the content that they want on the website using ChatGPT. But I'd say
Mm,
for web development, it hasn't affected us that much. I think the
as in,
only thing that affected us is maybe the other people say they'll build your website and they see that just like the smaller guys in a way, it's
mhm.
affected the trust of clients because clients
Okay.
tend not to trust
Mm,
anymore. But yeah, I'd say AI hasn't affected us yet. Let me say
thank
yet.
God.
Yeah, in the web in the web space. But it's affected other elements around us.
Yes.
Video, yeah, like your video editors, because copywriters do a lot. They do the content for videos, for website, for social media. So you can just think about the impact it's had on them.
Whoa, whoa. But I've also tested ChatGPT out, and I've noticed that it's not, you can't just use it alone. It does help in advancing your business, but there's a lot that you need to be clued up. You can't just take it if you're not clued up and use it. And the certain thing, it needs to be polished. It's a robot. It's a it's not a real person sometimes, So yes, it does help, but I think people need to use it with a lot of caution, so that your quality at the end is not affected.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. A lot of people have said with ChatGPT, you need to give it a
Correct
target
prompts.
market to give you content. Yeah, you have to give it. You can't just, I want content for a fishing website, for example, or
Mm.
a production website. You have to give it
You need to
context.
master prompting it. Yeah, I think that one is very much true. All right, Lungisani, thank you so much for your time. It has been quite an interesting conversation. I think just before you go, I would like to, give you an opportunity to tell us how we can contact you, the different platforms, contact number if you have, or an email address, and the website, if people can also find you there.
Or you can contact me. You can check me on all social media platforms, Rad Designs,
RAD.
yeah, RADSA, Rad Designs SA on all social media platforms. Then my email is info@raddesigns.co.za.
Mm-hmm.
And my phone number is 071
Yes.
205.
Thank you truly for coming through and having this conversation with us. We have learned something.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. All right,